What's up Vegas players, it's Mika, bringing you the Blue-Blooded Oni OTK. My opponent's on Mermail, they've got this like really cool trap build of Mermail. Unfortunately their hand isn't super cracked, or at least they don't do much with it. Then they've got Card Car, which I think is actually a really neat tech in Mermail. Really big fan of Card Car. Now it's our turn. We're playing Blue-Blooded Oni. As you will soon see, this deck can pump out some crazy shit. Unfortunately, this deck is just absolute garbage in the early game. Like, all we can do is set cards. Passing back to our opponent, they're not really doing much. I think they could have done the Turge thing. Oh no, they don't have anything to add back. Okay, in that case, I'm really not a fan of their turn one at all. Carrying on, we're just summoning our Mizuki, and our opponent's got Torrential Lind. They're thinking, I can Torrential this, I don't want my opponent to make an XYZ. Get my summon next turn, everything will be great. So they Torrential this play, and there we go. And they get their Lind effect. And now, I was thinking, I've opened Inferno Reckless on them, right? Which is a key component of this combo. And as you will see, using Torrential here was our opponent's downfall. So Inferno Reckless summon, if you don't know, when a monster is special summoned, like this Blue-Blooded Oni after this Book of Life, we get to summon as many copies of the card we just summoned from a hand deck and graveyard. However, our opponent also gets to summon as many copies of a card that they have, right? So we get 3 Onis off of this, or I guess 2. And our opponent summons all of their Teuses. And this seems pretty impossible to kill through, but when you have 3 Blue-Blooded Oni, you can do the combo, right? And the combo is this. So I'm starting with Lavable Chain, and I believe this is wrong. I think there was like some other plays. This could have been like a Gemini Pearl or something, but I'll just let you watch. So every time we make an XYZ, as long as we only detach one material, we can use an Oni to bring back another Oni, right? And if we make an XYZ without using any materials, we can use the Oni to get back an Oni, use that Oni to get back the third Oni, and then essentially we've just gotten an XYZ for free. And because of this deck makes like Gemlight Pearls and Utopias without materials and all sorts of crazy shit, which is just putting monsters on board, right? At some point, you can make a Direwolf, and then you can use your Oni to detach from the Direwolf, bring back your Oni, and then Direwolf can pop any card. And this is cost you, as you can see here, it's cost us 1 Oni in total. But we have extenders, so it doesn't matter. But you can effectively make probably around 2 Direwolves per combo, depending on like some factors, right? I'm pretty sure that I've played this terribly, but I'm just showing you the Oni combo here. We just keep making our stuff. There's the second Direwolf, bringing back our Onis. And Utopia Ray is an interesting one. I think I could have made this earlier to save a Book of Life. Because when you make the Utopia, you can just stack it into Utopia Ray. And that means that you just have like a free extra material, which is basically a free special summon. So at this point in recording, I'm realizing, yeah, I could have probably just won this turn. We don't quite win this turn, but this is a good example of the stuff that the combo can do, right? And then we just make Dweller and there's nothing that they can do. I'm not even showing you game 2, it was pathetic, we completely braked. But it doesn't matter, you only need to win 2 out of 3 games in a match and we got this. As you can see, we've opened all of our spice cards, we are playing Barion's Force, we are playing Endless Decay, and we have the Inferno Reckless, and we draw into Summon a Monk. It could not be better. We can't Reckless turn 1, because our opponent has to have a monster. So they do this, they marksman our Compulse off of their Teus. I'm not actually sure if it's correct to bounce the Teus here, but I just didn't want to leave them with a monster, so I compulsed it anyway. And then they've got like quite a few plays. They've actually got like multiple, what's the plural of Teus? Tei? I'm not sure. They've got this cool Lavable Chain play, which lets you make Draco Sack Lavable Chain, which is obviously like pretty solid. I don't think it's super incredible, but it certainly puts monsters on board, which is never a bad thing. So here we go with the Monk. They have got one back row, but it's just Reckless Greed. And we can do basically the same thing as before. We have to discard our Barion's Force, but we get out the Oni, and this is a really cool thing about Inferno's Reckless Summon, right? Which is, they get to summon up to 2 copies of a monster, but none of their monsters, they don't have any extra copies in their deck. You can't summon extra Draco Sacks, because you have to summon from the main deck. You can't summon Lavable Chains for the same reason, nor tokens, and Tidal is limited. So the Inferno Reckless here is really, really strong, like we just get 2 Onis for free. And at this point, I'm a little scared about the back row. Like, I know this guy plays a bunch of back row, so I Direwolf it, which turns out to not be incredible, because it's Reckless Greed. But now we have the triple Oni setup, and this time I've learned my lesson. I'm making the big XYZs first. Probably should have stacked this immediately. But this is the kind of board that you can just spit out. I didn't see a better play to like out this board, but I'm pretty sure Dweller's just game against this deck. There you go. Got some more games here while we're at it. This is an example of like a more fair game. If I remember correctly, this one went on for quite a while. I choose to Mirror Force at this point, right? Because, so he's got Lind, Dragoons, and Marksman on board. I could have just Mirror Forced the Marksman, but I wanted to get Dragoons out of the deck so he couldn't Undyne it, right? And then on the Megalo attack, I've got this Wind Blast, but I don't want him to really draw Megalo next turn, so I just let it through. Which probably seems really weird from the opponent's angle, or even just watching this in a replay. But at this point he summons Tidal, makes Draco Sack, and it works out like perfectly. I'm not sure if I should have just like Wind Blasted the Lind before or something, but I wanted to use up the Mirror Force. And I didn't really... I think it was correct, I'm not entirely sure. I wanted to get the Dragoons out of the deck, just because Dragoon Search is very powerful. And leaving Megalo on field, I kind of felt that he was going to make a rank 7 at this point, but I'm not sure. So at this point he hasn't really got many resources, but we also don't have many resources, right? So we just pass him. He's summoning out Turge and just attacking, which is telling me that his hand is completely dead. Luckily for us, Oni has the same defense as Turge's attack, so we can just sit out here for a while. And I make the mistake here, I mean, in hindsight it was a mistake, of hitting the card E. I read that his hand is terrible, right? Because all he's really done is like summon Turge. But so summoning card is like, I don't really want my opponent to suddenly have a good hand. But no. It turns out he can just summon this, do a lot of damage, and then we're pretty screwed. So here we Foolish Mizuki for Oni, and I'm just trying to make any play at all. But our opponent has got 3 back row, right? So we kill the token, we try and Excite gets breakthrough, and that's basically all we can do. So here's another example of just terrible openers. We're on Pyramid Turtle, and man, I think this card is real bad. I do not like Pyramid Turtle in the slightest. Unfortunately, we have to just play level 4 zombies, right? And it's not working out well. He targets the back row as Marksman, and we can just chain it because it's Fiendish. And here we've got like a number of extenders. So even playing into 3 back row, and 2 of them turn out to be live. I'm pretty happy with this, right? So we 101. Gets negated. Book of Life the Mizuki, Book of Life the Pyramid Turtle. Make the second 101. Gets negated. Then we can Mizuki back Pyramid Turtle. And I'm thinking at this point, like, bam, that Megalo's big, right? And he's got breakthrough, so even if I like try to sit on a 101 or something, it's just not gonna work. But luckily there is a key card in my deck, which I can summon off of the Pyramid Turtle. It's Endless Decay. And when you summon this guy, its attack becomes half of the opponent's life points. Which in this case is 4,000, which is a lot. And this ends up just winning the game immediately. I don't think my opponent could have foreseen this. I'm not sure about Endless Decay, but I was on Pyramid Turtle and it's legal, so I was like, sure, why not? This is match 3 now, I think? We've opened pretty good, right? I'm not sure what cards you do want to open, because most of these things you just want, like, in the graveyard. They mentioned that they want to do the Draco Sack chain play again, but couldn't, like, figure out how. I'm not super convinced that turn 1 Draco Sack's incredible, but I guess they've got Fiendish Chain for Excite, so yeah, seems fine. As usual, there's nothing we can do turn 1. If I'm working on this deck later, I think I'll try and add in some turn 1 play. Opponent's just doing mermaily stuff, they've got a bunch of monsters, playing it super passively, just using this Draco Sack to like gain very, very slow advantage, which I'm not such a fan of. We've been holding this Wind Blast, and now I see like, opponent's just not doing anything, so I can just Wind Blast your new back row. He's under Reckless Greed, very happy to just try and pop off, right? Unfortunately, he has got the Fiendish Chain here, right? So I discard and he's got the Fiendish. That's not an issue though, we've got the Extender, we've got Book of Life. And then we can Excite completely unopposed. And then we can rank up Magic Limited Variance Force. This card, I'm a huge fan of this card. I don't think this is like super competitively viable, but this is so fun to use. I absolutely love it. most of the time you're summoning this guy, right? 101 Silent Honor Dark. So this can just soak up this Draco Sag, no issue at all, right? And then we can just attack over his monster. He's got nothing, he doesn't even have Tidal, right? Then he 101s my C101, and then we Zombie Master Blue-Blooded Oni, and eventually I think we're 101ing the 101. And this is the cool thing about the Oni deck that I was saying before, right? Off of like very few cards, we can just spam out these Lavabble chains, right? And we don't even have the triple Oni setup, this is just like 2 of them. So we spit out a number of Lavabble chains using all of our Mizukis, and then we end up 101ing the 101. Attacking for huge damage, like every Lavabble chain that you spit out is just essentially a quarter of their life points. Almost guaranteeing game. But he's got the Tidal, right? And I know he has the Undying because he searched it. So at this point I'm like, there's not actually much I can do, but I draw the Oni, super nice. And here we are in the deck list. Pyramid Tattle, I think this card is absolutely terrible. As you saw, it didn't really do much. It summoned Endless Decay once. I'm looking for any level 4 zombie at all to replace this guy, but there are none that really do want them to do. There's Goblin Zombie. If they Torrential, at least I'll like Surge, maybe. If there's anything I want for this deck, it's like just a way for there to be a good turn 1 play. I might play like Plague Spreaders and Maliciouses so I can make Beals, but I'm gonna have to tinker with her a bunch more. 3 Oni, obviously you need them for the combo. You want triple Zombie Master, you just need Bone Crusher. Haven't ever actually resolved this guy, but in theory is good. Mizuki, you need 3 just for the loops again. I don't think this card's incredible, but obviously it's like fun, and this is a fun deck. You absolutely have to play Monk, right? It's just so powerful when it resolves. It can trigger Reckless Summon. Then all of this is standard, should be self-explanatory. These, I think 2's a good number. You never want to see 3. I really love the rank up stuff. I think 3 Inferno Reckless is a good number. Like, you just really want to see this card whenever possible. Dark Hole, been cutting it from a lot of decks, but you kind of just want to kill their board and then OTK, right? And then all the staple traps. Fiendish Chain specifically, and Mirror Force, you want to keep a zombie on board, and then next turn normal summon one, and then make an Xyz, right? And that's usually when Fiendish Chain is like at his best. It's when you need to stick a monster. Obviously triple MST and the Wing Blast, just because to like start playing the game, you need something in graveyard. You either need to discard this, or have something to summon with this. And then for the extra, it's just everything. You've seen like all of these. This is for if our opponent skill drains us. This is like another rank up guy. I think I might cut this for like Cowboy or something. Lavabble Chain, I think you only need 2 of these to OTK. Yeah, if you make 2 of these and Utopian Pearl, what's that? Like 8,700 or something. Which should be enough. So I don't know if you need like all 3 of these. Maybe cut one of these. And Dweller's obviously just very powerful. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the Blue-Blooded OTK deck. It was super fun. I highly suggest like trying out this deck. It's not tier 1 material, but it's really fun just to keep looping these guys and spit out like everything in your extra deck. Till next time guys, stay groovy.